You wanted chaos? You wanted controversy? Then explain this to me right now. Why would John Cena wait until now to finally expose Brock Lesnar? What changed? What secret was so explosive that it couldn't stay buried anymore? And if what Cena hinted at is true, then everything we thought we knew about Lesnar's dominance might be built on a lie. Because according to backstage whispers, Cena didn't just call Lesnar out, he allegedly tore apart the myth.
The aura.
The unstoppable beast narrative. Cena suggested that Lesnar's so-called dominance wasn't just raw power, it was protection, strategic booking, political shielding. Let that sink in. Now I'm asking you, if Lesnar wasn't protected, would he still be seen as the most feared force of the modern era? Or was it all carefully engineered? Drop your answer in the comments right now. And that's not even the biggest shock. Because while Cena is lighting fires behind the curtain, LA Knight just kicked the door off its hinges by winning the Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
Let that echo. LA Knight didn't survive, he conquered. In a structure designed to shorten careers, he outlasted the chaos.
Steel. Chains.
Bodies flying everywhere. And somehow he stood tall. But here's where it gets interesting. Was this WWE finally pulling the trigger on the loudest crowd reaction of the year? Or are they setting him up for the cruelest fall in recent memory? Be honest, do you actually see LA Knight walking into WrestleMania as champion? Or is he just a stepping stone for something bigger? Type yes or no in the comments. I want to see where the Ring Rumble army stands. Now, let's talk about the most mysterious situation in wrestling right now, the box. The locked, sealed, heavily guarded mystery box that somehow has the entire locker room on edge. And the name attached to it? The Rock. Why would The Rock need a mystery reveal? He doesn't need theatrics. He is the spectacle. So, what could possibly be inside that box that demands secrecy? A contract? A challenge? A power move that shifts the entire WrestleMania main event? Imagine this scenario. The Rock opens the box and it contains a contract that rewrites the championship match. Or worse, it contains leverage. Something that exposes someone at the top. And here's the real question. If The Rock is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, who's about to get sacrificed? Comment your wildest theory. No safe guesses. But wait. Because just when you think the chaos can't escalate further, there's movement in the shadows. AJ Styles. The phenomenal one has been silent.
Too silent.
And when AJ Styles goes quiet, something big follows. Reports suggest his return isn't random. It's targeted, strategic, personal. Is he returning to confront LA Knight? To clash with Cena? Or is he positioning himself for a collision with The Rock? Remember, AJ thrives in moments where expectations are low. He doesn't need noise. He creates shockwaves. Quick question for you. If AJ Styles returns as a heel, who should be his first victim? Drop the name below. Now step back and look at the bigger picture. Cena stirring controversy. Lesnar's legacy questioned. LA Knight rising. The Rock plotting. AJ waiting. Does this feel like coincidence to you? Or does it feel like WWE is orchestrating one of the most unpredictable roads to WrestleMania we've seen in years? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. When legends start exposing legends, when rising stars start breaking ceilings, and when icons start hiding secrets in boxes, that means a power shift is coming. And power shifts create enemies. If Cena's claims about Lesnar gain traction, it could fracture how dominance is perceived forever. If LA Knight actually capitalizes on this momentum, a new era begins. If The Rock's mystery changes the title picture, careers could implode overnight. And if AJ Styles inserts himself at the perfect moment, he could steal everything. So let me ask you something that might divide this entire comment section. Who walks out of this chaos stronger?
Cena?
Lesnar? LA Knight? The Rock? Or AJ Styles?
Pick one.
Defend your choice. And don't hold back. Because if there's one thing Ring Rumble doesn't do, it's play it safe.
The storm is building.
The egos are colliding. And somebody's reputation is about to be shattered. Stay loud. Stay ready. And keep your eyes on the ring. And just when you think you've mapped the battlefield, the ground shifts again. Because here's what nobody is saying out loud. If John Cena truly pulled back the curtain on Brock Lesnar, then this isn't just about legacy. It's about control. It's about who really shaped the last decade of dominance. Was Lesnar the conqueror or the chosen one? There's a difference. A massive one. And if Cena knows something concrete, something documented, something undeniable, then this could be the first time the aura cracks for real. Because myths survive on silence. Once exposed, they don't intimidate. They defend. But here's the twist nobody's prepared for. What if this isn't about tearing Lesnar down? What if this is Cena positioning himself as the gatekeeper of truth before WrestleMania rewrites history? Because while everyone's arguing about protection and politics, LA Knight is building undeniable momentum. The Elimination Chamber wasn't luck. It wasn't a fluke. It was survival with conviction. And WWE doesn't accidentally create moments like that. Not on that stage. The question isn't whether LA Knight can walk into WrestleMania as champion. The real question is whether the machine is finally ready to hand him the keys, or if they're using him to test how loud the crowd can really get before pulling the rug out. And then there's The Rock. You don't bring The Rock into a storyline unless you're planning a seismic shift. A mystery box? That's not random theatrics. That's leverage. That's power disguised as suspense. If that box contains a contract clause, a title stipulation, or something that forces a triple threat into the main event, then nobody is safe. Because when The Rock plays the long game, he doesn't just win matches. He rewrites headlines. And waiting in the shadows, watching all of this unfold, is AJ Styles. Silence from Styles isn't absence. It's calculation. If he returns heel, he doesn't go after the obvious target. He strikes where the impact multiplies. Imagine this. LA Knight celebrating. Cena arguing legacy. The Rock unveiling his masterstroke. And then AJ's music hits. One phenomenal forearm. And the entire power structure tilts. Now step back and look at the pattern. Cena questions dominance. Lesnar's aura flickers. LA Knight rises. The Rock manipulates. AJ waits. That's not chaos. That's collision. And collisions create defining moments. So who walks out stronger? If you're asking me, LA Knight has the momentum. The Rock has the influence. Cena has the narrative. AJ has the timing. But Lesnar? Lesnar has something none of them can manufacture. Credibility forged in destruction. If the myth survives this storm, it becomes unbreakable. If it doesn't, we're witnessing the end of an era. And eras don't fade quietly. They explode. So brace yourself. Because when WrestleMania hits, it won't just be about titles. It'll be about truth. And truth in this business? That's the most dangerous weapon of all. Now I'm throwing it back to you. When the dust settles, who's standing on top of the mountain? And who's buried beneath it? And here's where it gets even more volatile. Because mountains in WWE don't just crumble. They get conquered. Think about the psychology at play. John Cena isn't reckless. If he's speaking now, it's calculated. Veterans don't light matches unless they're sure the fire benefits them. So ask yourself, does exposing Brock Lesnar weaken the beast? Or does it position Cena as the moral compass heading into WrestleMania season? Because controversy creates attention. And attention creates leverage. Meanwhile, LA Knight isn't playing chess. He's kicking the board over. Every promo hits harder. Every reaction grows louder. If WWE was ever going to gamble on raw momentum over calculated legacy, this is the moment. But momentum is fragile. One loss at WrestleMania, and the narrative flips from coronation to ceiling. Now, let's revisit the wild card. The Rock doesn't return for side quests. If there's a mystery box, it isn't symbolic. It's strategic. And strategy at that level usually means one thing: control of the main event. Imagine this. The box contains a clause that inserts him into the championship match. Suddenly, LA Knight's dream turns into a triple threat nightmare. Cena's crusade becomes secondary. And Lesnar? He becomes a weapon again. Because chaos favors those who understand it. And then, right when the spotlight is blinding everyone, AJ Styles strikes. Styles doesn't need to dominate headlines. He just needs one perfectly timed moment. A betrayal, an alliance, a shock victory. He thrives when others underestimate his timing. So, here's the layered reality. If Cena is right, the myth of invincibility dies. If Lesnar responds violently, the myth evolves. If LA Knight wins at WrestleMania, a new era begins overnight. If The Rock pulls the strings, the board resets entirely. If AJ inserts himself at the apex, he could steal the entire narrative. This doesn't feel random. It feels orchestrated. Like WWE is stacking combustible personalities in one room and waiting for the spark. And when that spark hits, friendships fracture, alliances dissolve, legends get humbled, new icons get crowned or crushed. So now we're at the edge of the cliff. Who survives the fall? Does Cena prove that truth conquers myth? Does Lesnar remind everyone why fear was never manufactured? Does LA Knight finally cash in on destiny? Does The Rock outmaneuver everyone with one calculated move? Or does AJ Styles remind the world why he's called phenomenal? One of them walks out elevated. One of them walks out exposed. And one of them might not walk out the same ever again. The storm isn't coming. It's already here. So I'll ask you one final time. When WrestleMania ends and the lights fade, who holds the power? And who loses everything?